Trump shows AI image of himself walking with an alien in chains at military base. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to start off as always by giving all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahawah, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, Rachahakwadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi. The Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the elect out there, whoever you might be. Shalom to the 140 and 4,000. It's the brother Amawan Padah from the GMS Denver camp, coming at you with a quick lesson. And it's in response to this right here that you see. It's a picture, an AI image of, the president with some officials walking with an alien in chains. All right, now realize that the alien that they're showing is dark skinned, all right, tall, muscular, and they have him in chains. Okay, and this is a image that is really trying to portray Esau as being victorious over the heavenly host, because as we know, the so-called UFOs that we see, and the UFOs that everybody is capturing on their video cameras and whatnot, are the angels of Yahawah Bashmi Yahushua, the host of heaven, and they don't look like this right here. Okay, the angels are not gray, big-headed, aliens like you see right here. This is what they want you to believe, but not green men from Mars. All right, they're the celestial brethren that look like unto us. They're dark skinned. So they got that part right, just not gray. They're dark skinned, dark brown. They look like Israelites, man. Okay, and this image, is portraying them having victory over us, and it's not gonna happen, man. It's not gonna happen at all. All right, so they can put up all the AI images, they want, but at the end of the day, Yahawah Bashmi Al-Shai and the host of heaven are not going to be conquered by Esau, man. All right, let's read a little bit of this and we'll get some precepts out. It says, President Donald Trump has once again ignited online frenzy by sharing a surreal AI-generated photograph on his Truth Social platform. And he's like a big-ass kid, man, a child, depicting him walking alongside a muscular alien creature restrained in chains. According to the reports circulating on social media, the news outlets tracking the president's late-night activity, the image shows Trump striding confidently at what appears to be a military-style facility with the gray-skinned extraterrestrial figure shackled at the hands and feet beside him. All right? Because Esau is used to putting us in shackles and chains. All right? But not this time. You understand? So that's very, very highly symbolic, man, because the angels are our celestial brethren, and they will not be placed in any chains by Esau. Understand that? Because they, in their mind, feel like they can conquer Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shah, the host of heaven. That's why they have the Space Force and all this technology in the heavens, in the upper atmosphere. All right, and it talks about that in the scriptures, man, the war in heaven. And I've done lessons on this. They're actually going to try to fight Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shah and the angels. And they're going to lose horribly, man. They're going to lose horribly. All these stories of them capturing spacecraft that, crash landed on Earth, and they, took him into Area 51. That's all lies, man. All right, the chariots of Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shah, those so-called UFOs, they don't crash. All right, see what I'm saying? They can't be defeated. All right, because they're spiritual, man. Esau's not gonna take down an angel, man, of Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shah. All right, so all this, imagery is nonsense, man, and they're really in big trouble. Okay, it says the post, which quickly went viral, comes amid the administration's recent declassification of extensive UAP, or unidentified anomalous phenomena files, fueling speculation and amusement in equal measure. So they've been talking about this whole disclosure, shit, because they can no longer hide the host of heaven. Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shah is causing the angels to appear and to do things and to show themselves in these last days, and people are taking notice. All right, they've always been here, but now they're just becoming more visible as we near our salvation. All right, and they're a threat to Esau Edom. Okay, it says the image is widely recognized as satirical meme content rather than a genuine photograph. Yet Its sharing by the president has drawn a mix of laughter from supporters and raised eyebrows from cities. It ties into Trump's ongoing emphasis on transparency regarding unidentified aerial phenomena and potential extraterrestrial matters following his directives for the release of government records on the topic. Supporters, including figures like Representative Tim Burchett, reacted with humor, with one quipping about being cropped out of the scene. The post has been celebrated by some as a classic Trump style engagement with internet culture. Trump has not commented further on the specific image's meaning, but its activity aligns with a pattern of embracing provocative visuals during periods of heightened public interest in UFO related disclosures. All right, so anyway, man, the image of him capturing an alien, that represents them trying to take down the host of heaven. All right, which is not going to happen. Let's prove that real quick. Let's get into a few different precepts. So this comes to mind right here. We have the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3 and verse 16. It says, "When I heard, my belly trembled, my lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered into my bones, and I trembled in myself, that I might rest in the day of trouble. When he cometh up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops." What is that talking about? That's talking about YAHAWASHI invading the planet Earth with his troops. Who are his troops? The angels, man, the host of heaven, our celestial brethren, all right, who are very real and they are very active, man. As we speak, we're out at camp, doing our camp speakings. You know, sometimes we'll look up and we'll see the chariots above showing themselves, man. Our brethren watching over us, man, observing, reporting back to Yahweh Shai. That's what they do, man. It tells you that the eyes of the Lord, are in every place, beholding the good and the evil. All right, the angels, that's another, word, Salakia, or the eyes of the Lord is another term for the angels, man. You see, and Esau, he's not getting away with shit, man. They're reporting on whatever Esau's doing behind closed doors, is secret government meetings and all that stuff. The angels have knowledge of this stuff, man. You can't hide anything from your Yahweh Shai. All right, they know about all your little secret weapons and shit. It's not gonna work, man. All right, and Esau's afraid because he knows he's getting ready to be invaded, man, on another level when the Lord activates the angels to start doing damage. All right, and Esau has no defense against the host of heaven. Understand that there's no weaponry or technology that Esau has to combat Yahweh Shai and the angels. All right, so here we have an account right here. All right, an ancient account where the angels got activated and got busy on our enemies. This is a book of 2 Kings, chapter 19. I'm gonna start at verse 32. Right, it says, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmiah Shai concerning the king of Assyria, all right, the heathens. He shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shield, nor cast a bank against it." Because when you understand the account, all right, the king of Assyria back then was talking big shit against the Israelites, right, against us, and Yahweh Bashmiah Shai. All right, he's pretty much declaring that he was gonna overpower us, and then he was claiming that Yahweh Bashmiah Shai is not able to do anything to save us. So he was talking a lot of blasphemous shit. And the Lord said, all right, bet. He said he ain't gonna be able to do nothing against y'all. Sit back, I got this. Right? Check it out. "By the way that he came, by the same shall he return, and shall not come into this city, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashmiah Shai. For I will defend this city." All right, talking about us, the Israelites, man, Jerusalem. All right, to save it for my own sake and for my servant David's sake. See that? "And it came to pass that night that the angel of the Lord Yahweh Bashmiah Shai went out and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. That's 185,000 enemy combatants, man. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses." All right, one angel marked all of them, man. 185,000 all at once, man. Just one angel alone. All right, so This is the power that we're dealing with, man. One angel can kill the entire earth. Understand that. You can't do any harm to an angel. Esau can't do anything with his carnal weaponry to the host of heaven. But nonetheless, his proud ass is going to try to fight the Lord, man. All right? He's going to try to fight Yahweh. He's going to try to fight YAHAWASHI, should I say, when he returns. Because when YAHAWASHI returns, he's coming with what? The angels, the host of heaven. All right? So it's going to be overkill when the Lord comes back to destroy Esau. You know, I got to bring this out real quick. This is Second Esdras, the 13th chapter. I'm going to touch on a few different verses. I'm not going to read the entire chapter because I've done lessons on this and it's pretty lengthy, but I'm going to get to the points here, man. I'm going to read, starting at verse 1. It says, "And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him." Who is that man? That's YAHAWASHI. That's who that's referring to right here. So the prophet Ezra had a vision of YAHAWASHI's return, man, which will be in these last days. You see, and when he, appeared, he said all things trembled under him. That's the power that he's coming with. He's gonna shake up the earth, man, at his return. "And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire." Yeah, YAHAWASHI's coming back with extreme power. "And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea." Now you saw that picture, all right, with Donald Trump having that quote unquote alien in chains, right? You see what I'm saying? This is symbolic to them trying to subdue our Lord, man. They think they're gonna subdue YAHAWASHI when he returns. The man who overcame death, the Son of the Most High, Yahweh. They think they're gonna overtake him, man. This is how stupid and deceived these devils truly are, man. But it tells you right here they're gonna try to subdue him. All right. And when it says the man that came out of the sea, it's talking about the waters above the waters, man, the heavens. That's what it's talking about. Because that's where the Lord YAHAWASHI is coming from. He's coming from the heavens, from up above. Now, verse 6, it says, "But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it." It's talking about and that's talking about the gigantic chariot that YAHAWASHI is coming in on, man. All right. Imagine that. "But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not." So Ezra was like, damn, man, is there like a missing mountain range around here somewhere? That's how huge that chariot was that he's seen in that vision. All right. "And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight." Because the Lord Yahweh is going to put the spirit on them to fight. They're going to be afraid out of their mind, man. Because what they're up against is not from this realm. You see what I'm saying? They're going to know that they're outmatched. But still, the Lord's going to put the spirit on them to fight because Yahweh controls all spirits. You see? So understand that. All of you that are in the military right now, understand that you're going to be, fighting against the Lord, man. All you Israelites that are in the military, if you can, get out now. Because this third world's war is going to lead to you trying to go up against the Son of the Almighty Yahweh and the host of heaven. All right? So understand, man, you're not going to win that fight. You're going to be completely obliterated. You see? And let's see, verse 9. "And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests." Now that's talking about that fire that's going to come out of that chariot. The blast is going to come from that so-called UFO that YAHAWASHI is on to destroy Esau and the heathen militaries. All right, you're going to have the other heathen engaged in this as well, man. There's a speech, a while ago from President Ronald Reagan, talking about all the nations joining together to come against an alien threat, because Esau's punk ass knows that YAHAWASHI is coming back to invade the earth. The elites of Esau know what's up, man. They know the Lord's coming back to destroy them, man. So they're trying to band everybody together to try to fight against the Lord. All right. Verse 11. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. And there you go. That's the point right there, man. This is what's going to happen when they try to fight against the Lord and the host of heaven. They're going to lose, man. One fatal swoop, they're going to be up out of here, man. And it was extremely violent, man, what, the prophet Ezra saw, to the point where he was afraid at what he saw. So we don't exactly know how crazy this is going to be, man. It's going to be extremely wild, man, when Yahawashi returns to destroy Esau, Edom, and the militaries of the earth, man. But nonetheless, it's going to be a flawless victory. All right? It's going to be a flawless victory, man. I'm going to jump down to verse 28. All right? Actually, I'm going to start at verse 27. Salakia. 25. It says, this is the meaning of the vision, whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea. The same is he whom the Most High, the highest, hath kept a great season. Or he's kept Yahawashi in reserve for all these years, for this moment, which by his own self shall deliver his creature. Who are the creatures? Us, the Israelites. We're the creature that he's going to deliver. All right. And he shall order them that are left behind. All right. Those who survive all the said perils, who are willing as us. And whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came a blast, there came as a blast of wind and fire and storm, and that he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, but that the rushing in of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is the interpretation. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. Talking about our redemption, man, our deliverance out of the hand of Esau, Edom. All right. And this deliverance is going to be far greater than the one that took place in ancient Egypt, man. When the Lord had to deliver us from those ancient Egyptians. And he destroyed Pharaoh's army while simultaneously delivering us by way of a miraculous work, parting the Red Sea. Well, this was going to be even more miraculous. All right. It's going to outdo the ancient Egyptian deliverance, man. All right. This is going to be a new high holy day. Now, verse 30, it says, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. They're going to actually try to fight against the spiritual realm. And Esau, you're no match. You're no match for YAHAWASHI. It's going to be a flawless victory, man. You can take that to the bank. All right. And it's going to be like that movie Independence Day where Esau and Will Smith fight against the aliens and win. Nah, man. You're not fighting, gray men from another planet, man. You're fighting against the spiritual realm, the armies of YAHAWASHI, the armies of Israel. You see? Man, it's going to be amazing, though. It's going to be very, very entertaining, to say the least, to see Esau get demolished by YAHAWASHI. And you know what? He had that alien in chains in that picture, but in all actuality, Esau's going to have his ass put in chains. Let's prove that real quick, man. All right, so real quick before I wrap it up, I want to bring this out, all right? Prove that last point. How Esau's going to go into captivity, right? This is Psalms 149, starting at verse 1. It says, praise ye the Lord Yahweh, Bashmi Yahawashi. Sing unto the Lord Yahweh, Bashmi Yahawashi, a new song, and his praise in the congregation of saints. All right, and that song is the song of, victory over our enemies, man. This doctrine being preached in the earth in the proper context, you know what I'm saying? The Bible being taught in the proper context. That's the new song that the elect are singing, man. 144,000 are singing. All right, the prophets. Verse 2, it says, let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king. Who is our king? YAHAWASHI. Let them praise his name in the dance. Let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and harp. For the Lord Yahweh, Bashmi Awashai, taketh pleasure in his people, all right, the Israelites. He will beautify the meek with salvation. And that's what Esau's trying to stop. He's trying to stop our salvation. Just like Pharaoh was trying to stop us from leaving Egypt, all right? The modern Egyptian, which are, synonymous to the Edomites, they're going to try to stop us from being saved, man. And it ain't going to work. Salvation is coming for the elect. Now, verse 5, it says, let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. All right. And the saints are the Israelites, man. No other nation can be a saint. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand. That's a literal two-edged sword. You know what I'm saying? All right. Because at some point in time, the Lord going to strengthen us. He's going to give us might. All right. And power to subdue our enemies. You see what I'm saying? To execute vengeance upon the heathen. But I thought the Lord loved everybody. I thought the Lord loved all the nations. But right here it tells us that he don't give us power to execute vengeance on the heathen and punishments upon the people. Look, check it out. Verse 8. To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. Didn't I just say that, man? We're going to have them in chains, man. All right. They took us into captivity. They put yokes of iron around our necks, around our forefathers and foremothers. All right. And guess what? It's coming back to you, Esau, and the rest of you heathen, for that matter, who had a hand in our captivity. Y'all are going into slavery, man, upon the return of our Lord Yahawashi. That's it, and that's all, man. To execute upon them the judgment written, like the prophecy, this honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord Yahweh, Bashmi Awashai. Call her Lord Yahweh, Bashmi Awashai. See what I'm saying? This is what the Lord has destined for us, man, to take our enemies into captivity, to actually put them in chains, man. All right. So let's go back to that picture real quick. So you see this right here, man. Esau thinking he gonna have somebody in chains. Nah, man. As we just read in the scripture, Psalms 149, that we're gonna put your kings and your nobles in captivity, man, with fetters of iron and chains around your fucking neck. That's what's coming for you when it's all said and done with, man. Because we know that in the midst of World War III, these devils gonna try to, run and hide in the bunkers and whatnot. All right, and some of them will survive because the Lord's gonna preserve them. For what? For captivity. You understand? We're gonna come hunt your ass out of them holes of the rocks. All right, those deep underground military bases in Europe and whatnot. We're gonna take your ass out and put you in chains, and that'll be the first day of your miserable existence here under the children of Israel, man, in the kingdom of heaven. All right, we're gonna put you to work. We're gonna beat your ass every day, except for the Sabbaths and the high holy days, until we eradicate you, as it tells us in Obadiah 1 verse 18. So that's your future, Esau. All right. This picture that you see right here is false. It's a AI generated image. But what we're talking about is going to actually happen. All right. It's not fantasy. So with that being said, man, I'm going to end this lesson right here. Just want to show you that real quick, man. I came across that article right here with this image. And it shows you the pompous arrogance that Esau has. But it's going to be to no effect, man. So I'm going to end it right there. I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, Rakak, Wadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well, who taught us this truth through the power and spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi. Kwame Yasharala and the Baba Bar. Shalom to the elect.